Well, this was my pickup truck.
Yeah, we'll get to that story because I remember the story. Hey, hey guys, I'm here with Art, and I've talked to Art once before because every time I see this Woody Wagon, it just blows me away. So it's a 51, and we're gonna get to Art because he knows everything about it more than I do. But these things, they were metal from the cowl forward, and then there's basically cabinetry from their back. And you know, Woodies are like legendary and stuff, but this is a great example. Okay, I'll stop talking, Art. Tell me about your car, bud. It's awesome.
Pardon?
Tell me about your car if you
it's a 51 Ford. As the last year they put wood on them.
Walk around. Yes, sir.
And it was also the first year for automatic transmission.
Had the flathead V8.
It has flathead V8, and that's pretty much it.
This isn't a decal, guys. This is wood. This is cabinetry. Yeah. And you know, after that, in the 50s, they put, you know, basically like wallpaper wood over stuff. This is like the real Woody that everybody talked about.
And then this here, when I went to work for the people that owned this originally. This was he had a yacht.
Oh. That was their flag.
And that was their flag.
Oh, no kidding.
And then when I got it from them finally, and so then we had it all redone, and the guy asked me if I wanted to leave that on there, and I said yes. Yeah,
absolutely. It's a tribute to that history. Now, you were saying you worked for these people.
Yep.
And when you worked, this was basically your truck at work.
Right. It was my pickup.
That's insane.
Yeah. And I'm still working for them. I've been there 62 years working for the same family.
Well, they must treat you okay.
Oh, they treat me more than okay.
No, that's awesome. That's just awesome.
Yeah, they've been special people to me too.
Well, Art, I thank you. This is a treat for me. I see a lot of cars, but this is a special car. It's a treat. And I got to see the dash real quick for you.
Just go ahead and open the door. Of course, it's 3 seats. This seat folds forward.
Yeah.
And then you can go over to that side.
I see that.
And get into that back seat.
Just beautiful, sir. And thank you.
No
thank you for your time. I'll walk away because I'm not thinking straight after looking at this beautiful car. And Art offered to open the hood and let us see the engine. And I said, yes, sir. Why not? Just a classic flathead Ford.
Yeah, that's original engine.
They have their own sound, flatheads, don't they?
Yeah.
Especially if like you do like straight pipes or whatever. They've got, you know, they don't sound like an overhead valve motor,
right.
do they?
No, they're smooth. They're smooth running. So, no,
how many miles are on this car?
60,000. And I probably put I drove this to, well, the ship that the guy owned. Owned the yacht. And it was out in New York. His yacht was out in New York. And we loaded his car up. And he had me drive all the stuff to New York and put on his yacht.
Oh, my.
You know.
And it was an uneventful trip to New York and back? And
yeah, well, we flew out.
Okay.
We flew out in the car. The captain of the boat, he had the boat out in New York and fitted the boat.
Yeah.
And then he come and got this car and we loaded it up. He took it a whole load to New York. Then my wife and I, we had never had a honeymoon.
Yeah.
And so when I took him to the airplane to go out to his yacht, and he says, well, you think your wife would like to go with you? And I said, I'm sure she would.
Yeah.
And so we went out there and picked up the car. And,
that's crazy.
And my uncle was stationed on Governor's Island.
Yeah.
And so we got to go stay with him for 3 or 4 days. And then we picked up the car and headed for home. So, yeah.
That's great. I can't thank you enough, Art. Thank you very much.
No problem.
All right, guys. I really don't want the channel to be about my stuff, at least not at this point. We're going to do some projects going forward. But I wanted to share the GTO with you and tell you the story. This car breaks all of my rules. Whenever somebody asks me like, what should I get? I want to get a car. What should I get? I encourage people not to get projects, to get something up on its feet and running, something that needs the least amount of work, nothing with a title issue, and I broke all those rules. It was one of those things where I was at a family gathering and somebody mentioned they knew somebody that had, they thought it was a 66 GTO in their garage, covered with garbage. Well, my ear got really big, and my friend Kyle was nice enough to set up something for me to look at the car. So it ended up being a 69 rubber nose GTO, probably the worst one in existence around here, but it just kind of got me. And it's not, I don't have a budget to just pay a shop to make it what I want it to be or whatever. And I'm you know, so first things first, it has a title, and I'm going through, I've had it 2 weeks, I'm going through the court process, and I'm gonna get the judge to tell me yes or no on the title, because somebody had signed on the back that shouldn't have. Anyway, so we'll see how that works out, but I'm hopeful. I think it's gonna go well. I've filed all the paperwork and everything. This particular car got me because 69 rubber nose folding headlight, although they're not in there right now. I've got the Pontiac historical report on the car. 69 folding headlight, 4-speed car with air. I mean, there's just a lot to like about it. It's kind of like what I would have ordered if I was going to order one way back when, except for a couple of things. This car was brown with a gold interior, and none of that's in good shape, obviously. So I'm going to call it, in my head, it's called Fool's Gold, because it's covered with brown and it's gold inside, but not really. From now on, the car is, until it's done, is Fool's Gold. But what I did tonight was I thought I had all 4 of the Pontiac Rally 2 wheels with the car, and as it turned out, 2 of them were 14-inch and 2 of them were 15-inch. I gotta look at the dates on the rim, see if I figure out what it came with. It's a disc brake car, so I believe it came with 15-inch rims, but I had some tires that, they weren't worn out or anything, but they aged out, and they were on my wife's 442, and I saved them. So I put them on these rims to make a roller on this car. And this is like, oh, and I saw the taped up windows when I first looked at it, and I thought, oh man, here we go, rotted window sills. No, the window's not glued in anymore, and they put it in for transport, but the window channels are actually good, and the roof is really straight. I haven't peeled the back yet, but I think it's going to be more of the same. Yeah, there's some dirt in there, a little surface rust, but yeah, that was surprisingly good news. Fenders are throwaways. They make fenders. The hood's savable. The front grills and everything are savable. The doors are probably sketchy. They're dented up. I'll look for better doors. It's obviously going to need inner and outer quarter panels. The trunk lids are right off. All that stuff's available, and I can buy it a little at a time. And the trunk pan is beyond repair. I did get core seats with it. I believe they're the wrong year, but I can get the upholstery kit. I'm going to go to black. Probably the worst thing is the floors. There's a lot of stuff inside the car now, but the floors are pretty soft, and so it's going to need a floor pan. So it's a heavy, heavy project. Again, it's something that I would discourage somebody from buying. But you know what? The year is 2025. The front end's just loosely thrown on here. But the frame is perfect on this car, so that's good. Anyway, it came with no motor, no transmission. It was an original 404-speed wide ratio M20 4-speed transmission, according to the historical report. So there's a couple of ways you could go with this car. One way that I think would be kind of neat would be to buy a wrecked later model GTO, like the 04 through 07. I think I'd prefer the 05 through 07 with the LS2. I believe they were LS2 motors. They came with a neat little engine cover that said GTO on it. And I just thought it'd be a nice modern upgrade, seeing as how it's not ever going to be a numbers matching car anyway. But then the other thing I've always had in the back of my mind for a rubber nose is, I saw there was a dealership in Detroit, and it was called Royal Bobcat. And you can look them up, but they were kind of like a specialty dealership that did high performance builds on some of their customers' cars. And one of the things they did was to put the 428 Pontiac motor in. And I thought that would be neat too, to do a 428 with the Muncie 4-speed to keep it old school and keep it all Pontiac. But I would be just fine with the later model 6062 LS with the 6-speed. The only thing I wouldn't want would be a modern shifter. You know what I'd want from you guys? You can laugh at me, remind me what an idiot move this is at my stage of my life or whatever. But give me your comment. Hey, I apologize for the shaky camera here. I don't have my my normal little handle I hold this thing with, but this is just on the fly. But yeah, I'd love to hear what you guys what you guys would do if laugh at me, call me names, remind me how silly it is at this point in my life to take on something like this and all that. But beyond that, tell me what you would do. What would your plan be? What would your plan be going forward? You could rough this thing together and just make a driver out of it. And I'm just not big, although we never did paint my kid's truck, I'm just not a big fan of the rough and run deal. I think this car really deserves to be done halfway well. And like I said, I don't have the budget to do everything all at once. I'm a working guy, but I'm a swap meet junkie, and I can chip away at it, and I can look for deals and buy a panel a month or something like that, and do what I can do in the meantime, clean stuff, paint stuff, whatever. But I'd love to hear your ideas. I gave you my option of the all Pontiac with the 428 motor, and I love that idea. And I gave you the option, my other option of the late model LS, but with the GTO cover on it, and kind of like the old classic body style with the more modern running gear. I'm cool with that too. I really like that a lot. So yeah, let me know. It's kind of like a blank canvas. And I said before, the year is 2025, and I just meant to say that, you know, I did not pay a lot of money for this. I'm not crazy. I might be silly on this one, but I'm not crazy. I paid a fair price for this car, and so it leaves me some room to improve it, you know. So yeah, help me out with some ideas. But I really think the title thing is going to work out. And if not, I'll do a bonded title. I'll figure it out. But this is another one that's just not going to go anywhere, and I'm tickled to have it. Okay, guys, thanks.
GTO. It's been beautifully restyled from bumper to bumper.